I wanted us to get into the mindset of remembering that technology is merely a tool for us, right? And if we recognize that it is there to serve us, then we start dancing with it just like we dance with our salsa partner, right? And we learn how to make it work. So I say all this as we are encountering some little technology challenges because, as you can see, these displays are not on yet, but that's not going to stop the fun. I believe that we're going to turn this on momentarily. So as we do that, I just want to get to know you guys. And to our folks who are dialed in on Zoom, kindly respond via chat. So who here teaches any of the STEM subjects? Math, sciences? Woohoo! Oh, quite a few STEMs here. Okay, amazing. And how about on Zoom? Yeah, coming in. Okay, who does not teach the STEM subjects? Awesome. What do you teach? English, awesome. Geography, I love geography. Very cool. Okay, great. Now, as you teach these subjects, I'll show you a bunch of cool tools technology that is available at your disposal. I also want to learn a little bit about, who teaches online versus in person. So who teaches online? Oh wow, practically everyone. Who teaches in person as well? Okay, awesome. All right, love it. And what tools do you use? Shout out the tools that you use, just so I have a reference point of what kind of,
Hardware or software?
Software tools. So who uses Zoom? I heard Zoom. Okay, amazing, great. Who uses other tools besides Zoom?
BitPaper.
YouTube.
Do you count that?
Yes, of course, I count YouTube. So okay, we have people who use YouTube. We have people who use Zoom. What other tools are being used by you guys? Gmeet, okay, very cool. Whiteboards, okay, very good. Any other tools you'd like to share? Lesson Space, it's a great tool. Sorry? Bramble, okay, perfect. Any others that may not have been mentioned yet?
BitPaper.
Pencil Spaces, thank you, that's great.
MathBot. MathsBot.
Maxbox.
MathsBot.
Oh,
It's got an S on the end
MathsBot.
because we're English.
Got it, yeah.
Sorry.
When I'm at the airport, I do use my British accent to get upgrades. It works really well in America. But when I was in line for my flight from America to the UK, this is my first time in the UK, I was telling my wife, I was like, gee, for once in my life, I can't use my trick because, clearly I won't be the only one. So, yeah, that was quite unfortunate. And any of the other accents I do, like the Indian accent, don't really, serve to my advantage. So, yeah. Gentlemen, how are we doing with Life's Good? Life's getting gooder. Okay, no worries. Who says we can't innovate? I'll share with you a little bit about my story and a little bit about how we got to where we are and how are we getting to serve people. Circa 2016, my dear wife and I were at our baby moon. She's, by the way, allow me to introduce her. Her name is Swati. She has lost her voice.
Literally lost my voice, but it's lovely to be here.
She is our COO. Sukhmeet, my very, very close friend, high school buddy. We go back more than 20 years. And also our head of engineering. Sukhmeet is the brains behind a lot of the wizardry that we will be showing you. And my son, and our son, Ashay. He is 6 going 16. Packs a punch and a half. He speaks 9 languages. A lot of the technology that we have innovated actually, are literally being used by him, and we can see that works to great effect. He's been, he does fairly advanced math and all of those cool things, but he's not special. It's a child's brain that is special. And every kid has the ability to go places that I don't think we understand yet, right? We're working with Carnegie Mellon University's learning science departments. Carnegie Mellon University has the most advanced research team on learning science. We're also working with Stanford University. We're working with some of the world's experts on learning science. And what we're finding out is that the technology we've built Turns out it is the most sophisticated that there is. Some of our clients, have reviewed more than 300 products, and then they send us an email of extreme upset. They're like, "Where were you guys hiding, and why didn't you tell us, declare yourself to the world earlier? Because we wasted all this time." So, I'm really proud of the technology and the solutions that we've put together. What we're getting to present to you is truly the cutting edge. We are at this point the company that has built the most sophisticated, the most effective learning solutions, and I'm really excited to get to show you them. Now, as teachers, and you are my favorite people, as tutors, you're providing the gap. You're filling the gap. You're making connections with students. My life was transformed by my tutors because they transformed my relationship with learning in ways that my school teachers weren't able to do. And because of my tutors, and I should name them. I had a tutor by the name of Richard, sir. Sadly, he's no longer with us, but he changed my life. And the reason he changed my life is because one summer I didn't want to do homework, and I said, "Hey, actually, I want to use my Lego set to make a dice system, which would randomly come up with a number." And we did that. That's all we did. We somehow assembled a bunch of random tools to make this dice system, and that changed my life because suddenly I realized, we can make stuff. I don't have to be limited by my textbook. And, I then went on to very fortunately have a few other tutors who, folks like you guys just, changed the game for me. I've been very fortunate to have had the opportunity to work at Google, to work at Facebook, to work at McKinsey. And a lot of these opportunities I don't think I would have had I not been touched by tutors like yourself. So thank you for what you do, and thank you to my amazing tutors as well. We at Pencil are on a mission to empower you to transform lives. That's what we do. That's why we wake up. That's what gets us excited. And our method of doing that is through providing you breakthrough, absolute cutting-edge technology. We want to be the Ferrari to your Schumacher. Does that make sense? Yeah. When I talk to a lot of you, you tell me that I have a flying car, and then I say, "Tell me more about your flying car," and that's kind of the picture you start describing to me, right? Which is cool. But, you haven't yet had a taste of what a real car can do. A purpose-built system that is meant to go fast, that just works. That's what we're building. I had the pleasure of chatting with Vicky earlier on and sharing with her some of the things that we do for math. And she got pretty excited. Vicky, do you want to share a little bit about what we got to talk about?
Yeah, so
I am a bit of a car guy, so I'm just going to leave that up there.
Nicola had very kindly introduced me to Pencil Space, but I was still very much, I just don't really understand how it's going to be better. For me, I'm very happy with PowerPoint. I'm very happy with having all my tabs open. And really, for me, Pencil Space is, we can both be on the screen at the same time and both type at the same time, which I know is really cool. But apart from that, it's a lot of, if you're neurodivergent and you're a slow learner, for whatever reason, like me, it's an awful lot to put yourself through just for that benefit. And then the magic happened. Because I saw how you can use Pencil Space in a way that literally I was hooked. I was hooked with what it could do. I was hooked with the ease with which I could do something. And I think it is very much the flying Land Rover versus the Ferrari. Definitely. Or even a three-wheeler. That's probably more like it. And I think I don't know about anyone else, but if perhaps you don't quite love technology and you don't quite yet think you're any good at it, things can change. And as we all know, it's just the way we're taught. And a good teacher is good.
Thank you. So, who wants to see some of this stuff in action? Awesome. Let me pass the microphone. I'll leave it here. Okay. So let's show you some. Okay. Let's do this. So, I'm going to offer you a literal mic drop. See, I'm slow sometimes. So let's show you some cool things. But before I do that, I just want to again, I love technology. Technology loves. Thank you. So I'm going to share with you really quickly one of the things that Vicky and I were playing around with. So in Pencil Spaces, you have this really, really rich library of applications. It's a tool chest with a lot of cool tools that you can now see right over here. And in these tools lies the solution to a lot of the challenges that you may experience while teaching. Let me give you an example first, and then I will go a little bit deeper into how we can, support your experiences. So, number one complaint that tutors have is when I need to teach, I have to alt-tab and screen share, and, there's a lot of distraction. And I do a lesson with one student, and I have all my material there, and then 10 minutes later, I'm doing a lesson with another student, and all the material and all the context that I've created disappears. I see a lot of nodding heads. You can relate. Let me show you something fun. I am here on a lesson with Sukhmeet and Cherry, right? Hi there. So we have this video call going on, and by the way, if I wanted to just bring them all into a video call only mode, I can, right? This starts to look and feel a lot like Zoom, right? And if I wanted to screen share and choose a window, I can always do that. So in Pencil Spaces, what we've done is the floors are low, but the ceilings are extremely high, right? So when you get started, it will look and feel like, gee, what's the big deal? Great, we're doing our job. We want you to feel like there's no big deal when you see it for the first time. But let me start showing you some of the magic. So I'm going to go back onto the board. And, one of the many apps that we have here is the Mathigon Polypath. So I'm going to grab this geometric shape and notice how I can unfold it. Pretty cool, right? Now, you may think, and tell me if you do, you may think I'm just screen sharing. Who thinks that? And, you may logically believe that I can just screen share this. It's a cool tool, but I can screen share this. Fair? Sukhmeet, go ahead and help me unfold this object.
Raise your hand.
Raised my hand.
He's doing it with his mind.
One more time, let me explain to you what just happened. I am 1,000 miles away unfolding this object, right? And now Sukhmeet can do that too. All right? What we've done is we have turned this tool into an interactive tool, right? Not only this tool, in fact, anything on the web, period, we've turned it into an interactive experience. So I'll just illustrate by grabbing a fractions tool here for a moment, and I'm going to show you a few more examples like this. So here I'm going to drop a half. And Cherry, why don't you pick another number and let's try to, okay, fine, I'm going to be a little more assistive here. Cherry, why don't you sum this up to a half? And so now my student
Sorry, but the board is currently private on my end.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
I have made, so this is me playing advanced moves without knowing that I did them. So we have all these controls. You see I'm on this board, and you see it's private to a bunch of people. So what that means is you can actually restrict access. So you could have multiple students in the space at the same time, but not everyone can see that board. This is a fairly advanced move, and if it's causing confusion, don't worry about it. But if it's making sense, then you now know why this can be quite powerful. So I'm going to change access and let Cherry see the board as well, as she can now do. This leader mode capability, by the way, allows me to bring people along with me. So no matter where I go, they come along with me and they can see exactly what it is that I am seeing. All right? So now Cherry's cursor is here, and Cherry's going to grab a fraction block of her choice and put it onto the board. Pretty cool, right? So now when you're working with your students, regardless of what their levels are, you have all the tools available. Let me show you something a bit more complex. So let's say we pop open the Desmos graphing calculator, and notice I have all of these running in parallel, right? If I wanted to, I could have all of them running in at the same time, right? So I'm going to do something along the lines of y equals mx, okay? And it's pretty cool. I can animate this, right? So really show to my student what happens as the m value changes. I can even go into my library of math manipulatives and grab a protractor, right? And when I get this protractor, which I think may be hiding somewhere up top, I have put way too much stuff on this board for my own goodness. But there we go. And now you can superimpose the protractor on the tool. Just think about that for a moment. How would you normally do that? There's no way you could normally do that, right? This is really cool. This is how Richard Sir taught me tan theta. He helped me connect the m values to the angles. And, I just understood trigonometry at a deeper level because we had made these connections early on. It's pretty cool, right? Needed this yesterday. Who can relate to the things that I've shared thus far? English, absolutely. Let's do some English. What is something that, do you use Google Docs to write essays? Kind of? Yeah. Okay. Do you sometimes have multiple versions of those essays? No? You might. You might.
I'll be honest with you. It's something I'll talk about when I meet. Who am I going to be meeting? Or via email?
I'm happy to meet with you personally.
Yeah. I work slightly differently.
Okay. Cool. I'd love to learn more about it for sure. Of course. Yeah.
Anyone stand by?
Sorry.
It's there. Oh, there. So it's really interesting looking at how you can be visual with maths, and I can see how that might work. Obviously, similar to Charlotte, a lot of what we do is either word-based or scaffolded-based, or it might be that they piece things together. And so it would be, how can we make that more interactive and intuitive? Are there things there that we can pull across really for tutoring, sort of? So I use like Jamboards as well as slides. And so how is this sort of, I suppose, how can this be more intuitive than that? Because it is quite, I'm not going to lie, and Charlotte might agree, it's quite clunky. And it's really difficult sometimes, other than scrolling through slides and Jamboards, to see what everybody is doing. And they often, unless they scroll themselves to each other's boards, they can't often see in real time what others are doing.
Right.
And the beauty of group work is being able to do that.
Like this.
So what I can envisage is seeing just almost like a blank screen, or say we're doing description, and you want to see their basic brainstorms to begin with. So a picture in the middle, and I work with up to 18 at a time, online at times. So I want to see all 18 all sharing at the same time on the same board. That's the kind of thing I'd love to see.
Can be done. Would you like to start screen sharing for a moment? And I'll show you a couple of tools. So it's not like we don't have tools for language or literacy. We work with anywhere from kindergartners to very advanced students, college students in the tool as well. One of the tools that we have here is a UFLI word mat. This is extremely popular in the US. I don't know if it's used here much or not. So let's say I want to, and I must admit I'm not an expert in this domain, but if I want to grab a consonant digraph and then, spell out, let's say, Christmas. So I do CH and then R, yeah. And then ist. Thank goodness my English teachers are not around. Oh, it's not that. Right? But you get the idea in terms of being able to construct this together. And, just to illustrate the collaboration again, Sukhmeet, would you like to grab an M and spell out the rest of the word here? Right? So he can do that collaboratively with me. Right? So that's to show you one example. Yeah. All right? Or if, let's say, just to zoom out here for a moment, we were using the dictionary, right? We can use that collaboratively, right? We were writing essays. We could, have 2-3 versions of our work side by side and work on that collaboratively. Or let's say I had a PDF document that I wanted to review. I'm going to grab just because this is one that I remember off the top of my head, grab a PDF document, right, and put it onto the board, and we can read and discuss that document collaboratively as well.
If we wanted, the best way to then use a graphics tablet to be able to then write on that, yeah?
You don't have to rely on a graphics tablet, but, if
I
you...
just wanted to hand
If we
write.
wanted to annotate, because sometimes we might have a passage like that, but we want the learners to be able to type their own.
Yeah.
Or I might, or any of them, or particularly me, I might want to. So at the moment, I would use a remarkable tablet.
Sure.
And I would highlight and literally write my own comments.
You can do that. So literally highlight.
But how would I use what I want to?
So use a Wacom tablet. Yeah, by the way, we are partnering with Wacom.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
That's what
so
that's what I meant, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
It works with the Wacom.
Yep, yep, absolutely. So you have the ability to, as you can see on that side, the ability to highlight as much text as you'd like, right? And then bring people along in that process. And, Sukhmeet and Cherry are coming along with me, by the way, because I have leader mode on, right? So I can bring their attention with me no matter where they are. And then, of course, you have a sticky, you have all of these tools. Speaking of these tools, because I know Vicky was very excited when she saw this, drawing and writing out fractions. I'm sorry, I'm switching out from writing for a moment. Of course. So let's say you had to, who here has struggled with writing fractions out clearly? Yeah, pretty annoying, right? Yeah, so let's say I have 1 and a third plus 2 over 7, and I want to do all of this divided by 3. How cool is that? How cool is that?
Come in, worth the wait.
Do you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you see the badness of my handwriting here? Yeah? It's so cool when you can get your point across, right? And then work with the student on the material instead of having to fight the system, right? We're also doing a lot in the world of students who have special needs. So for example, the background color that I'm using is one of the approved optimized colors for students with dyslexia, right? We even have fonts, and the research on this is quite divided, but from our tests, we've seen really strong response where, you can use open dyslexic fonts to, again, make it easier for students with dyslexia to read the material that's put on the board. We're also doing text to speech, speech to text. There's a whole lot of additional capabilities coming to, once again, enhance the... Should I not touch this? I will not touch this. See, very good. So, there's a whole lot of additional scaffolding and support that's being added, and that's not all. On top of what's happening inside the virtual classroom, let's now step outside the virtual classroom for a moment and look at the corridor. Because a lot of tools talk about what's happening inside the workspace, but we also invest a lot in what's happening outside it. Number one, everything that you do in a space is durable. it stays there. And these are all the virtual workspaces, all the pencil spaces that I'm a part of, right? So every space that I've ever been in is just there, and I can pick up from exactly where I left off. It's very, very easy to say, for example, I met with Susanna.
I was about to say, in a moment, when you
Okay,
get to...
fantastic. Let me show you guys this, and then I'd love to take the question. So I just searched for Susanna. I had a great meeting with Susanna a little bit ago, and I can enter this space. And you know what's really cool? Every single thing we discussed in that meeting, every single scribble, every marking is just there exactly how we left it, right? So, you know, she made some notes. We had some detailed conversations. It's just there. We are handling all the scheduling of sessions as well. Who's annoyed with scheduling, especially those of you who are running large centers, right? If there's a single cancellation, that can be such a nightmare. So we're building technologies to help you with all the center management, all the virtual center management in real time, session scheduling. What happened in the session? Did the tutor speak the entire time? Was that a good session for the student? What do the survey results tell us?
Ayush, quick question in regards to scheduling. Are you building your own scheduling tool, or are you partnering with other organizations?
Great question. So we are fully integrated with Tutor Cruncher, right? They have a very powerful solution, and we work seamlessly with that. But there are scales and situations whereby people need very specialized systems, and then we work with them on building those specialized systems, which are, you know, outside of the zone of any of the solutions that exist in the world today, right? And in situations like that, our analytic systems, our scheduling system, our attendance systems, they kick in a really, really powerful way. So what we're working towards is providing you with a complete system, a complete, unified, seamlessly integrated system that just works. Another thing that I'd love to tell you about, and then I'd love to take the question, is, you know, we have breakout rooms in Pencil Spaces. We have tutors who have tripled their income, 3x'd their income, just by using Pencil Spaces. How? They run tutoring sessions in parallel, right? They might have a 6th grader and an 8th grader. You can't do a group class with a 6th grader and an 8th grader, right? But what they do is they run sessions in parallel, right? They will provide some prompts, some questions to the 6th grader, right? And they say, go start working on this, and I'll be right back, and they go work with the 8th grader, right? That 8th grader makes some progress, and then they come back to the 6th grader. And the students love that because, you know, especially the 6th and 8th graders don't like the feeling of someone helicoptering all the time. They want that 2 minutes of separation. It actually helps them feel a lot less anxious, right? I'm sure you would know the research around this even more than I would, Kirsten. So, you know, it's very, very powerful and effective in those types of scenarios. What's the question?
So Tia is asking, how about for teaching
Tia.
languages, particularly for children with autism?
Thank you so much for asking that question. So while I don't have the necessary expertise to speak to the autism part of it right now, there's a member of our team who does. You know, my son, sitting right here, learns Japanese on Pencil Spaces. He learns a whole bunch of languages, and he learns music as well on Pencil Spaces. So I'll just try and pop up his Japanese class.
While she do that, Tia says that she's fairly new at teaching a student with autism, so she's looking for any tools or materials, activities, anything that you've got.
Yeah, we have several students with autism who make use of Pencil Spaces, by the way. And the reason why Pencil Spaces really, really works for them, and different, you know, autism, while one word, has many flavors as well. For one of them that I know more about, the ability to bring him along, right, and hold attention is being really, really effective, right? And our leader mode does a great job with just directing, managing attention. And then being able to really challenge the student as well. This is a very brilliant child who is on the Pencil Spaces platform. This is my son's Japanese class. His teacher is based out of Japan, and I now know where and how he's getting all his Mario situations from. But you know, this is literally his classroom. And Ashe, would you like to talk a little bit about what you are doing in your Japanese class? What if you'd like to share anything about any of the above, I'd appreciate it. Actually, come. Yeah. Well, the board is. There you go. Do you want to tell us about what that is?
So there we were spelling things. So these are just letters, the things on.
You can look at my computer.
That's not working.
Okay. Here we go. Just focus on that. Don't worry about that.
So if you see letters, then those are like letters. If you like see the whole thing, then it'll have all the letters. So like if it would be like vowel sound, then it'll be like I, E, U, E, O. If it's like K sound, it'll be ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. M sound, mommy, moo, memo. So whatever sound it is, that's how it sounds.
So actually, I have a question for you. How is Pencil Spaces different from Zoom? Because I know you took a bunch of lessons on Zoom as well.
That there's a whiteboard on Pencil Spaces, like there's a whiteboard on the computer, on the TV. So in Zoom, you could not do all this. So how would you learn by learning languages? Because now you can't write, read. At least you can write if you have like a piece of paper, but
Very good.
But then you want they will tell you something if it's and then you won't kind of understand what they're talking about for you to sometimes write. So then it'll be hard to learn.
Thank you so much. So you at least have one person who's learning.
I was going to thank him actually because my next question was going to. Oh, sorry. No, thank you very much. My next question was going to be about the way you did the fractions to ask, and probably a silly question. It's obvious that it can. So you're writing with accents and things with the different languages. It just picks them up automatically.
You know, I am not a Japanese teacher, so I don't know how this is happening.
With any language that might have different characters or accents or stresses.
We do have advanced supports for those capabilities. In fact, you know, this is kind of a fun one, and I'm just gonna. I don't have. This is another cool thing.
Use the most.
You see how this board is locked? Mm-hmm. If you notice carefully, all these tools are faded out. The reason is because the teacher, Asha's teacher, has locked the space. Meaning I, the student, can come back and review, but I can't just go to town and scribble all over. There's a ton of content protection and management control that's built in. How many of you teach chemistry? Is it pretty annoying to write those equations, right? Let me show you. In Pencil Spaces, the same formula editor that we were using, you can also use to write out complex physics, chemistry, math formulae. And it just works. It's really, really delightful. I would love to have you guys ask me more questions as I draw those equations. So if you have who has questions?
Just got one over here.
Kirsten, go for it.
Actually, this is a me one, not a chat one. In terms of reviewing afterwards, so the space is still live for them to go. Is there any way to export it? Because I currently use BitPaper, which allows me to export as a PDF so that they have notes that they can either print out or the parents can see what's going on for that lesson. Is there that capability?
It's an excellent question. And this is a hotly debated question at Pencil. And sometimes we make opinionated choices because we want to advance the ecosystem, right? Who here prints emails? You used to. So some people print emails, and we think that's a horrible idea in this day and age to print emails because you're like, why are you printing emails, right? It's a waste of paper for one thing. So we made this really hard decision. We, by the way, have the technology to export PDF. We actually turned off the feature because we realized that it's causing bad behavior, right? It's causing people to then not advance and take advantage of all the fullness of the capabilities that we have in our platform, right? So we therefore turned it off because we think that the student and the parent are better served by actually entering the space and seeing in fullness the context of the work that is being done. Otherwise, our canvas is an infinite canvas, and that A4 piece of paper is not going to capture the application that was being used to represent the ideas, and then people walk away with partial information, and then that causes confusion. So we decided that we're not going to let that happen. Just to finish my earlier promise of probably the only chemistry equation I still remember. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? This would be such a pain to remember all the LaTeX for. It's just done. More questions, please.
Oh no, I was just going to say, like, you have a little subscript, some secret script.
Yeah, it just gets it. It just gets it. And you know what's really cool is you can actually, so now for advanced moves, you can actually go back in here, click in here, and make changes to this as well, right? So if you want to then, exactly. So there's a whole lot of tuning that you can do to your work.
I was going to say, just linked to that. Well, can you do the same, like say you did something not very good? Oh, sorry.
Can it translate a not great, drawing, I suppose, a diagram into something a bit, the same way you do the equations, if you did a kind of like not great.
If you want to draw diagrams, we actually have chemics built right into pencil spaces. So this is a tool that can be used to draw out an entire lab setup.
Oh, wow.
Right, so there you go. You don't have to deal with these, poor tools and whatnot. You can just, work with the application. And again, it's collaborative. So you're not the only one, meaning, Sukhmeet, if you wanted to, let me bring him to me. Sukhmeet, go ahead and change the size or change the color of the liquid or whatever you'd like. And he can make changes as well. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, very cool.
One more thing that I would love to show you is anything on the web, absolutely anything on the web is available to you in a collaborative format. Just to make my point clear and to, celebrate geography a little bit. So let's say I'm going to go to Everest Base Camp. All right? I grew up in Nepal, by the way. So this is everybody thought I've been to Everest, but I haven't. Sorry to disappoint. So here we are by the Everest Base Camp, right? And you see how I'm panning around, right? Suki, would you like to pan around? This does wonders. This does wonders to the conversation that you have with the student, because what used to be a lean back watching TV type experience with screen shares becomes a lean forward, super engaged, tell me what's going on, I can do stuff experience. And then I, as the student, have agency to engage and interact and ask questions.
Yeah, can you use this space for arts lessons? Like, for example, different brushes, colors, and...
Yes. In fact, we have students doing that. And just in case you're wondering, I'm going to sidestep here. This is, first of all, my homage to the greatest British... Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, the reason why this slide is here and the story's going on, because what I wanted to tell you guys was, look at your software, okay, and see if it looks like it's from the 90s. Okay, if it looks like it is from the 90s and, has 90s fashion going on, it's kind of a sign that you should look ahead because you're really holding yourself back, right? So that's why those images were there. I couldn't think of a better way to make my point. So to answer your question, for art education, we actually, so I love art. I did a lot of art in high school. In fact, that's really all I did. And we've got a bunch of really exciting things for art. So let's say I want to teach someone composition. So first off, you have a full image search system here. So let's say I want a waterfall, right? I do a search for waterfall pictures, and look, I get this beautiful gallery of tons of waterfall pictures. I'm going to choose this one, hit upload, And now I want to change the, I want to grab a brush, right, or a marker. And the color of this marker is going to be the same color as these rocks. All right? Confirm. And now I have a thick brush that is the same color as these rocks, right? And so now I'm going to do my color study, and I'm actually going to even change the background of this board, right, to, maybe this color, right? And so on. And I can do that too, right? So there's a ton of tooling and capability for art, but the story won't be complete if I. So we are many of us are ex-Google people and ex-Facebook people, and we're very proud of making cool stuff. That's what we like to do. So one of the things that is in Pencil is also an AI image generator. So if I say, make me a painting of the London Tower Bridge. Of the painting of the London Tower Bridge in the style of Picasso. Dali. Okay, make me a painting of the London Tower Bridge in the style of Dali. Who the heck knows what's going to happen? But I think this account that I'm in is disabled for this feature. This is a very premium feature because each image costs us a lot. So sorry, I can't show it to you right now. But one art teacher has done things like, if you go to my LinkedIn, company LinkedIn page, you'll see this. Pictures of Steve Jobs in the style of Picasso, Leonardo da Vinci, Dali, etc. And you'll see that. And it's a very cool way to teach composition and artistic style, right? And it's just all built in.
I have lots of questions, but can you talk me through some of the features for safeguarding kids online? Is
Sure.
there a waiting room? Can you share different spaces with different teachers? Can they come in and out? And can you add students into classes once a class has already started happening? And where you shared those live web spaces, is there a safe search on there? You're not going to have kids like suddenly the whole class has got...
You can't search for inappropriate content. There were 4 or 5 questions in that. No, that's great. So can you add students in the middle? Yes. Is there safe search baked in? Yes. In fact, Suki made that technology happen. Thank you, Suki. Waiting room is under development. You can control access to each space. So, access can be such that anyone who has the link to the space can come visit it, or you have to be explicitly invited to a space in order to be able to access it. There's even additional safeguarding. So when you're inside a space, what are all the controls that you can have? Can you turn on your camera or not? Can you edit the board? We have individualized controls as well. Is there another case that you had in mind?
Also, with recording of classes, do you record the video element of the classes?
Yeah.
And is that available to only the people that were in it, or how does that store? And also,
it can be configured.
And also the analytics that you're capturing, what are those?
Yeah, so we are capturing a lot of rich analytics. Here is a sneak preview of what some of those are, and then if you're in our if you have a technical team, or if you have certain specific requirements, because we work with academic researchers who have very, very specialized information requirements, at which point we then generate the data for that. But for most of us, details like, how much time was spent in the call, for how many minutes was the space in the background, meaning that the student alt-tab and, was not actually there, but made it seem like they were there, right? We actually send you an alert. Time with microphone on, camera on, how many times did you raise your hand? There's tons of information here, and what we're adding is a really rich set of visualizations so that you can, again, quickly interpret the data as well. I have one question here and one question here. Go ahead.
So from Jade, where she's asking, what are some of the additional applications you're thinking of adding? What's in the pipeline, or what's on the wish list to add to the platform?
We have an application review process, so we have a very large number of applications that want to be in our platform, but we review these applications for quality. We do limited tests with these applications to make sure that they're actually going to be accretive to our clients. If any of you have applications that you would like to see in here, that goes a long way, right? Because we want to prioritize applications that some of you have at least vetted and have found to be useful. So that's the process there. But the class of applications where we're doing the most amount of development are actually more around the administration and the assists that we provide. One of the things, Kirsten, that I forgot to mention earlier is we have enterprise-level controls where every space that is created, the institution administrator will always have access to. Right? So, you know, any of your tutors can't just randomly create a space and quote-unquote block you out of it. So again, some of these get into fairly specific implementations, but that is what we do.
So I want to have my lesson where I see all my students and I have an application open that they can see at the same time.
Yep.
I want to record it, but when I see the recording, I don't want my students on that recording. Is there a way of doing that?
That is being developed.
Excellent.
Yeah, yeah.
How long will that take?
That, I think, is going to happen towards the end of the year, towards October, November.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because so what we do is essentially we give you the control on whose videos you want to eliminate and whose videos you want to include, just checkbox controls.
I can still see all of them as I'm teaching them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, that just has to do with the recording.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, you can create multiple different recordings as well.
Excellent. And I'm sorry, can I just ask one question that goes with that? So at the moment in Zoom, you can obviously control chat so that only they can chat to you and not everyone and anyone else. So in terms of the control I want to give the kids, brilliant. And then is it very quick when, say, I want, because what I feel I could get in danger of is kids just, when I give them control, they're very good, but I don't want them just messing about. So is it very quick when I want them to write something very quickly to all have control and then come away when and then stop it when I don't want them to have it so they don't start scrawling all over the screen?
Yes, it is. So Sukhmeet right now is a participant in this space. Sukhmeet, go ahead and write 2 + 2 = 4 for a moment. On the board? Yes, please, on the board. Might just need to pick. So far, Sukhmeet is being nice and he's following along. But Sukhmeet, suddenly go nuts, man.
Okay.
Okay. And now I have blocked him, right? So now he can't do anything. Oh, wait a second. He can. Why can you still do that? Did I not make you a participant?
I'm a host, sorry.
Oh, you're still a host? Okay. Sorry. Oh, sorry. When you're with the head of engineering, he gets some special powers. Were he a regular student, though, he wouldn't have been able to do so.
So if I had 16, say, students all at the side, and somebody started to go a bit silly, I could just quickly...
Yeah, you could. That's what that lock icon is for, lock button.
So all the kids would come on.
Correct. And you can also do that selectively, meaning I want only one person to be able to write and no one else. That also you can do. Yeah. Yes, please.
When I was playing with this the other day that I noticed, and it might be helpful for people, the backgrounds, you not only got the colour, especially for those that find that helpful for dyslexia, I saw grids, small grids, big grids.
Yep.
I saw dot grids, which is for the maths nerds. And I saw lined, as in like lined paper, was on there for those that are doing, Charlotte's a little bit of writing for those that want to be able to do phonics or writing things. I just thought that was a useful one to demonstrate for people. Maybe not in high.
Very thick pen, though, but yeah.
Can you blur your background?
Pardon?
I'm going to stop.
So, go ahead.
On your profile, can you blur your background like you can in...
I'm sorry, profile background?
On the video.
Like there, on you.
On the video, so on
your
Zoom
face,
you can blur.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you can. That is also in the process of being shipped. One more fun thing you can do is you can actually put the video on the board itself. So, you know, that is fun if you want to obviously But beyond adding humor, it's really useful if you have a video stream that you're looking to share, like a screen share. You can put that on the board as well. Folks, I've only shown you maybe 50% of what we can do. I haven't shown you the learning management system. I haven't shown you any of our course solutions. There is so much more inside of Pencil Spaces that I haven't shown you. The ceiling on Pencil keeps going up and up. We keep innovating, but we keep making the entryway simple and accessible. The application is localized in more than 40 languages. There's a mobile experience. There's so much more to show you. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you. Thank you for indulging us, for checking us out. And, last but very, very important point, Odette here is an incredible ambassador and champion for the community. Pencil Spaces is available to you at the incredible price of
£1 for the whole year.
Yes, we will never do that again. But our new price is not like it's going to be exorbitant. We will obviously look to be, comparable and cost-effective compared to any alternative in the market. So if you're used to paying, again, I don't know my dollar versus pound, but
between £10 and £15 a month.
Exactly.
For you guys is with Pencil Spaces and the other platforms that are available. So to get it for £1 for the whole year, we only have these seats available until the 31st of August, and it's available in your goodie bags. But if you're a QT member, you have access to it already.
That's the QR code, so we invite you to take advantage of the opportunity. And again, thank you so much. You guys are such a wonderful audience. Thank you for staying back late for this, and again, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you.